Do you ever wonder why your best-laid plans crumble at the moment of triumph? Why do you pull back just when success is within reach? Why does every relationship, every opportunity, every dream seem to slip through your fingers like sand? What if I told you that the very person destroying your life isn't some external enemy, but the reflection staring back at you in the mirror? Right, I will change my mindset now in the comments if you're ready to confront the uncomfortable truth about your own self-sabotage. Now let me tell you something that might shake you to your core. You are not failing by accident. You are not unlucky. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the architect of your own destruction, and you've been building this prison of mediocrity brick by brick, choice by choice, excuse by excuse. And the most terrifying part, you're doing it unconsciously. You see, the human psyche is a complex battleground where ancient evolutionary programs war against our conscious desires. We carry within us the ghosts of our ancestors, the echoes of prehistoric survival mechanisms that once kept us alive but now keep us small. Your brain, that magnificent organ that elevated humanity above all other species, is also your greatest saboteur. It's wired to keep you safe, but safety, my friend, is the enemy of greatness. Think about it. Every time you're on the verge of breakthrough, something goes wrong. You get sick before the big presentation. You start a fight with your partner just when things are going well. You procrastinate on the project that could change your career. You make that one impulsive decision that ruins months of progress. This isn't coincidence, this is your unconscious mind protecting you from the terrifying prospect of actually succeeding. But why would success be terrifying? Because success demands responsibility. Success means you can no longer hide behind your excuses. Success means you must become someone you've never been before. And transformation, real transformation, feels like death to the ego. Your identity, however limited and painful, is familiar. It's known. It's safe. And your psyche will fight tooth and nail to maintain that familiarity, even if it's killing you slowly. Let me paint you a picture of how this works. You're in a relationship that's finally stable and loving, but instead of embracing this gift, you start picking fights over trivial matters. You become hypercritical, emotionally distant, or you sabotage the trust through small betrayals. Why? Because deep down you don't believe you deserve love. Your unconscious mind whispers, this is too good to be true. Better to end it now on my terms than wait for the inevitable abandonment. So you create the very abandonment you fear. Or consider your career. You've been working toward a promotion for years. The opportunity finally presents itself. But instead of rising to the occasion, you show up late to important meetings. You make careless mistakes. You become defensive and argumentative with colleagues. Your unconscious mind says, what if I get this promotion and fail? What if I'm exposed as incompetent? Better to stay where I am, where I know I can survive. This is the tragedy of the human condition. We are simultaneously the species capable of reaching for the stars and the species most afraid of our own potential. We are the only creatures on Earth who can imagine a better future and then systematically destroy our chances of achieving it. The roots of this self-sabotage run deep, back to your earliest experiences of life. Perhaps you were raised in an environment where love was conditional, where approval had to be earned through perfection, where mistakes were met with criticism or abandonment. Your young mind learned that it was safer to not try at all than to risk failure and rejection. Better to be mediocre and accepted than excellent and alone. Or maybe you experienced early success that was met with jealousy or resentment from others. You learned that standing out was dangerous, that being too good at something made you a target. So you developed the unconscious habit of dimming your light, of pulling back just before you outshine others, of ensuring you never become too successful, too happy, too fulfilled. So deeply embedded that they operate below the threshold of consciousness. You don't decide to sabotage yourself. You don't wake up thinking, today I'm going to destroy my chances of happiness. It happens automatically, like breathing. Your unconscious mind runs these ancient programs designed to keep you small, safe, and suffering. But here's what you must understand. Consciousness is the antidote to unconsciousness. Awareness is the enemy of automaticity. The moment you begin to see these patterns, to recognize them as they unfold, you begin to break their power over you. This is not easy work. It requires the courage to look honestly at your own behavior, to acknowledge the ways you've been complicit in your own failures. You must become like a scientist studying your own psyche. Watch yourself. Notice when you're on the verge of success and observe what happens in your body, in your thoughts, in your emotions. Do you feel anxiety? A sense of unworthiness? Do you hear that inner voice telling you that you don't deserve this, that something will go wrong, that you should quit while you're ahead? This is the voice of your unconscious programming. It's not the voice of wisdom or intuition. It's the voice of ancient survival mechanisms that are no longer serving you. And once you recognize it, you can begin to choose differently. Time is the canvas upon which we paint our lives, and every moment is a brushstroke. You cannot change the past, but you can choose how to respond to it. You cannot control the future, but you can influence it through your actions in the present. And the present moment is where your power lies. It's where you can interrupt the patterns of self-sabotage and choose a different path. Reality is not what happens to you. Reality is what you make of what happens to you. It's how you interpret events, how you respond to challenges, how you choose to see yourself and your circumstances. The person who sees obstacles as opportunities is living in a different reality than the person who sees opportunities as threats. And both realities are equally real, equally valid, equally powerful in shaping outcomes. But changing your relationship with reality requires more than positive thinking. It requires what I call disciplined hope. It requires the willingness to act as if your dreams are possible while simultaneously accepting that they might not be. It requires the courage to risk failure, rejection, and disappointment in service of something greater than your current circumstances. You must learn to sit with discomfort. Success and growth are inherently uncomfortable. They require you to do things you've never done, to become someone you've never been. And your nervous system, evolved over millions of years to detect and avoid threats, interprets this discomfort as danger. It will flood you with anxiety, fill your mind with doubts, and tempt you to retreat to familiar patterns. But discomfort is not danger. Anxiety is not a stop sign. It's information. It's your nervous system telling you that you're approaching the edge of your comfort zone, the boundary of your current identity. And that's exactly where you need to be if you want to grow. The hero's journey, found in myths and stories across all cultures, always involves leaving the familiar world and venturing into the unknown. The hero faces challenges, confronts monsters, and ultimately returns home transformed. But here's the key. The hero doesn't overcome the challenges by being fearless. The hero overcomes them by being afraid and acting anyway. You are the hero of your own story. But you've been hiding in the village, refusing the call to adventure, content to live a small, safe, predictable life. You've been telling yourself that you're not ready, that you need more time, more skills, more confidence. But readiness is not a prerequisite for action. Action is the prerequisite for readiness. Your unconscious mind has been running your life for too long. It's time to take back control. It's time to become the conscious author of your own experience. And this begins with understanding that every act of self-sabotage is also an opportunity for self-awareness. Every time you catch yourself about to undermine your own success, you have a choice. You can follow the familiar pattern, or you can choose differently. Start small. Choose one area where you consistently sabotage yourself. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your relationships. Maybe it's your career. Whatever it is, commit to paying attention. Notice the moments when you're about to make the choice that will undermine your progress. Notice the thoughts, the feelings, the physical sensations that precede these moments. And then in that moment of awareness, pause. Take a breath. Remember that you have a choice. You can choose the familiar path of self-sabotage, or you can choose the unfamiliar path of self-respect. You can choose to honor your past programming, or you can choose to honor your future potential. This is not about perfection. You will still make mistakes. You will still have moments of weakness, of doubt, of self-sabotage. But each time you choose consciousness over unconsciousness, awareness over automaticity, you strengthen the neural pathways of success. You literally rewire your brain to support your growth rather than undermine it. The most profound realization you can have is that you are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your past. You are the consciousness that observes these things. And from that place of observation, you have the power to choose your response. You have the power to interrupt the patterns that have been controlling your life. But this power comes with responsibility. Once you see the ways you've been sabotaging yourself, you can no longer claim ignorance. You can no longer blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck for your failures. You must take full responsibility for your choices and their consequences. This is terrifying and liberating in equal measure. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that if you've been creating your own suffering, you also have the power to create your own success. It means recognizing that the same mind that has been your enemy can become your greatest ally. It means understanding that the patterns that have been destroying your life can be transformed into patterns that build it. The path forward is not about eliminating fear or doubt or discomfort. It's about developing a different relationship with these experiences. It's about seeing them not as signs that you should stop, but as signs that you're on the right track. It's about understanding that courage is not the absence of fear, but action in the presence of fear. You must learn to trust yourself, not because you're perfect, but because you're conscious. Not because you'll never make mistakes, but because you'll learn from them. Not because the path will be easy, but because you're strong enough to walk it. The time for excuses is over. The time for blaming others is over. The time for waiting for perfect conditions is over. The time for playing small is over. You have been given this one life, this one chance to become everything you're capable of becoming. And every day you choose self-sabotage over self-respect. You rob the world of your unique gifts. Your potential is not a fixed quantity. It's not determined by your past, your circumstances, or your current limitations. It's determined by your willingness to confront the parts of yourself that have been holding you back, and to choose growth over comfort, truth over illusion, responsibility over victimhood. The unconscious patterns that have been running your life are not your destiny. They are simply habits, and habits can be changed. But change requires more than intention. It requires attention, consistency, and the courage to feel uncomfortable while you build new neural pathways. You must become vigilant about your own behavior. You must develop the capacity to observe yourself without judgment, to notice patterns without immediately trying to fix them. Because awareness precedes change, and self-compassion precedes self-transformation. The person who sabotages everything they touch is not a bad person. They are a wounded person, a frightened person, A person who learned early that the world was not safe enough for their full expression. But wounds can heal, fear can be faced, and safety can be found in the embrace of uncertainty. You are not condemned to repeat the patterns of your past. You are not destined to sabotage your future. You are a conscious being with the power to choose your responses, to direct your attention, to shape your reality through the accumulation of countless small decisions. The question is not whether you deserve success, love, or happiness. The question is whether you're willing to act as if you do. Are you willing to make the choices that successful people make? Are you willing to think the thoughts that happy people think? Are you willing to take the risks that fulfilled people take? This is not about becoming someone else. This is about becoming who you really are, underneath all the programming, all the conditioning, all the fears and limitations you've accepted as truth. This is about discovering that the person you've been is not the person you have to remain. Every moment is a new beginning. Every breath is a chance to choose differently. Every day is an opportunity to interrupt the patterns of self-sabotage and choose self-respect instead. But you must choose. No one else can do this work for you. No one else can save you from yourself. The tragedy is not that you've been sabotaging yourself. The tragedy would be if you continued to do so now that you know better. The tragedy would be if you read these words, recognize the truth in them, and then went back to living the same unconscious life. You have been given consciousness for a reason. You have been given the capacity for choice for a reason. You have been given this moment of awareness for a reason. Don't waste it. Don't retreat back into the comfortable prison of unconsciousness. Don't let fear win again. Stand up. Take responsibility. Choose consciousness. Choose growth. Choose to become the person you're capable of becoming. Choose to stop sabotaging everything you touch and start building everything you desire. The world needs what you have to offer. The world needs your unique gifts, your particular perspective, your individual contribution. But you must first believe that you deserve to offer it. You must first choose to stop being your own worst enemy and start being your own best friend. This is your wake-up call. This is your invitation to step into your power. This is your chance to break free from the unconscious patterns that have been running your life and to become the conscious creator of your own experience. The choice is yours. The time is now. The power is within you. Stop sabotaging everything you touch and start building everything you dream. Clean up your life. Set your house in order. Take responsibility for your choices. Face your fears. Embrace discomfort. Choose growth over comfort. Choose consciousness over unconsciousness. Choose to become who you really are. If you're ready to stop sabotaging your life and start building the future you deserve, write "I will change my mindset now" in the comments. Let this be your declaration of war against the unconscious patterns that have been controlling you. Let this be your commitment to consciousness, to growth, to becoming everything you're capable of becoming. The time for excuses is over. The time for transformation is now.